So in this video, we're going to talk about fear. Fear is one of the things that will always hinder a person's spiritual growth and development. Now, over time, I have dealt with quite a number of narcissists. And there is one common thing I remember in all of them. That was fear. If you have been with a narcissist, let's say, for example, you have gone through a discard, you may be out there wondering, how are you going to be able to survive out of that entanglement or relationship? How are you going to be able to survive post-discard? And the narcissist has already told you things like, you cannot grow. You will not grow. You will never grow. The narcissist has told you things like, nobody will ever love you. The narcissist has told you everything like, you cannot survive without them. Now, most of the times when you're living with toxic people, they are going to instill a lot of fear inside of you. Upon awakening, you will come to the realization that that fear never existed in the first place. You know how I found out this? In a few months post-awakening, when I left the narcissist, actually even the greater one for this matter, I started realizing that there is so many things I could do. I did not need anybody's validation. I didn't need anyone's support. I didn't need their help. I didn't need their approval. I could simply go out there and just be anyway. But those were things I couldn't achieve way back in time. Now, for a lot of you empaths, especially the ones who are going through this awakening, okay, you've just had your spiritual awakening a couple of months ago, you have to be aware of this. If you have been around toxic people, one of the things you're going to have to do is to overcome fear. I'm going to do a whole video on the NARC frequency, and fear is one of those frequencies, okay? Fear. Narcissists are very fearful of everything. They are very paranoid people. You want to open a business, they will tell you it's not going to work. Oh, why do you waste your money? Why do you waste your investments? Why do you do this? Why do you dress like that? Why do you talk to that neighbor? Why do you do this? They are always fearful of everything. They can never let you shine. You're going to come to that awareness that you have adopted that fear from being around toxic people, just by being around toxic individuals. So it's the reason as to why, for the most part of your life, you have realized that you have been in this kind of a bubble. It's a very toxic bubble. And that bubble never allowed you to spread your wings out and fly. So it's like you feel you have been trapped in this kind of cage. You cannot even understand why you can never be able to do the slightest of things. Did you know, for the black sheep of the family, did you actually even know that some of these black sheep, they are struggling to break away from their parents because their parents have already told them they cannot survive without them? Let me repeat this one more time. Did you guys know? So many black sheep and scapegoats who are living narcissistic family dynamics. Did you know? Many of them, one of the biggest challenges they have had in their entire life was to break away from the system. That is simply because they were programmed to believe they will never be able to make it outside of the dysfunctional family system. But you know what happened when they left? They started flying. They started growing. They started elevating. Is it a coincidence that you've just broken away from a toxic family unit and all of a sudden your life started taking off? Did you think that it's a coincidence when you start to achieve things that you've never achieved when you was around certain people? The narcissist wants you to be in a fearful state because that is their vibration. That is where they vibrate. It's a very low vibration. And they have also manipulated you to think that there's a lot of things you can't do. And there's so many things you can't achieve. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. When I left a narcissist, everything I ever thought from day one that was impossible, all the doors started opening up for me. Is that a coincidence? I think not. Now, when you're talking about spiritual growth, ladies and gentlemen, this is a video especially for the awakening empaths. I know that the ones who are not awakened, they may still have that fear thing within them, fearing this and fearing that, fearing what will dad say, fearing what will mom say, fearing what their brothers are going to think about them. You are fearing and fearing everything about fear. The fear is an illusion. I can promise you, empaths, there is so much you can do if you can overcome fear. So on this journey of spiritual growth, one of the things you're going to learn is overcoming the things that you have been fearful about from day one. So sometimes I do these videos and I see some people commenting and they're like, how are you able to do this? What does so-and-so think about you? What does this one think about you? How do you get the courage? How do you get the energy? How do you get this? So people don't understand. For me to be able to create and enlighten and educate you and share my wisdom with you, I had to break out of the fear frequency. This is not something I would be able to do if I did not start by overcoming fear. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be an easy journey. I'm not saying that. I'm not going to tell you that it's going to be so easy and everything is going to be peaches and cream. When you're doing this kind of moves, all these people that used to be a part of that frequency, they're going to hate you for that because you're doing something that is challenging them. It is extremely impossible for them. The light that you will shine once you leave toxic individuals, it is going to be a light too bright that the people who ever attempted to put you in those frequencies, they will not be able to stand you. You are going to shine so bright to an extent. The people that intoxicated you back in the days and back in time, the moment they see you shine, they will throw up. That is how bright you will shine. Anybody who was a part of putting you in those lower vibrational energies, the moment they start seeing your light shine, they are going to throw up. Because that is a frequency they cannot even comprehend in their minds. So what am I teaching you guys in this video is that eventually you're going to have to find a purpose at some point. You're going to have to start growing personally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. You're going to start getting out of low frequency energies because the only way to be able to grow further and elevate or ascend is when you start leaving old energies behind. Okay? So you guys have heard me talking about things like raise your vibration. The higher you raise your frequency and vibration is the higher you step into your growth and purpose. And is the higher you leave all these low vibrational energies, because all these things was a program. It was a matrix. It was meant to keep you in a bubble. So you could never be able to burst out of this bubble. Whenever you burst out of this bubble, it's like you was going paranoid and crazy. It was like, okay, so what is going on around me? You cannot even understand what is going on around you. And you could actually go back into this cocoon and fold yourself. So you never had an opportunity to grow and shine because you was always in this fear frequency. These people, toxic and narcissistic people, they don't have anything to do with spiritual growth. That is why you see a lot of them, the moment you get in touch with them and you get in contact with them, friendships and relationships with them, that's why you see they are going to start beating down your energies and they're going to bring you back down to that frequency. They want you in that frequency. Things that involve spiritual growth and development, they intimidate narcissists. They already know They cannot grow spiritually. So they don't want anybody growing spiritual around them. Your parents, don't go for that course. Don't do this and don't do that. You cannot achieve this. You cannot achieve that. You're stupid and you this. So they'll start beating you down eventually, slowly, until they'll kill your light, because they want you at a certain frequency that you will never be able to shine. All these things I discovered the moment I started detaching and disconnecting myself from toxic people, because they had kept me in a very low frequency. I could never be able to actualize myself, self-actualize around these people. So I had to leave them to grow. That's what they call spiritual growth. To be able to beat those individuals at their own game, you've got always to remind yourselves that fear is a very low frequency. It is a very common frequency with very toxic people, low vibrational energies and people. You have simply been intoxicated to be at that level so that you can never be able to grow and shine. When you can beat that, ladies and gentlemen, the magic will happen. So all I'm saying is that all I'm saying in this video is that your spiritual growth is also going to determine how can you beat yourself out of that frequency, the fear frequency, because fear is what is keeping you a slave. Fear is what is stopping you from your spiritual growth and development. Fear is actually what is hiding you from your higher self, from your highest version. Always remember, chosen ones, that the enemy does not have any business with you when you're shining. The enemy only has business with you when you're in darkness. That is why they killed your light many years ago. If you can step out of that darkness and overcome fear, you are going to grow to a magnitude you have never seen before, and you will eventually become your greatest version. So let's know what you think about the video in the comment section below. You guys do know that I do love and appreciate your support. You can book a session with me if you want to. You may donate or support my channel if you want to. Everything you need, you will find it in the description below. And until then, I will catch you guys in my next one. There's Amos signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.